My name is Jonathan Walker. I'm a graduate student here at Georgia Tech. I've been a graduate student since 2010, and I was an undergrad here, so I've been here for a very long time. And right now we're in the Electric Propulsion Laboratory here at Georgia Tech, and I do electric rocket work. So I won the 3-minute thesis competition, and so here's a little short thing about my thesis. So when we go into space, we'd like to go further and farther out, and sort of where we are right now is we're using chemical rocket engines. Those are sort of the things that make fire, that come out, and they look great in movies and things, but in reality they're pretty fuel inefficient, and we're running into problems where, you know, our satellites are reaching kind of the size where we can't really carry any more stuff with us because we just don't have enough fuel to bring with us, or rocket engines are too fuel inefficient. Sort of the solution to that is to use electric rocket engines. So we don't use a chemical fuel, we use inert fuel, and we use energy from like solar panels or possibly even a nuclear reactor, and we harvest that energy and we put that into the fuel, and we can get very, very good fuel economy. That's the sort of the underpinnings of this whole lab, is that we test electric propulsion engines. So if you're not familiar with them, you can just think of electric rocket engines as Star Wars engines, which is, you know, those little glowy things that are on the back of like TIE fighters, like the Millennium Falcon. The library is an excellent place for all sorts of resources because it has access to thousands of e-journals, whole compendiums of knowledge across different fields. And it's easily accessible to get those journals on a Georgia Tech computer or on your home computer. It's just all condensed in one area. Like, it's very easy to find these things. Normally, these peer-review journal articles and references that have withstood the rigor of our scientific method are under paywalls, and so having the library negotiate all of those, all the finer details with getting those papers really helps streamline our research process. You know, you read through these papers, work that was done in 1960 and 1930 is still extremely valid for most cases. They were dealing with a lot of fundamentals. Wait a minute, there's just an equation, I don't understand how this equation came out, and I don't understand these resources, so they'll reference like a very old volume or a book. And so the library has a huge volume of these things, especially for, you know, within different disciplines. So then, you know, I go and I look at the primary resource, and it has a very detailed description of how we got to these very compact formulas, and that has been very helpful. I will sum up my experience at Georgia Tech as being extremely stressful. That's my honest answer. The library has helped alleviate a lot of that stress. You know, there's lots of things that happen if you're an experimentalist. Even if you're doing computational work, there's lots of things that happen. And having a reliable source of information and also collaborative workspace has taken a large chunk of that work. Like, I don't worry about it. You know, I see on Google Scholar this paper, and I know the library is going to be able to get it for me, or this reference. And for me, that's awesome, because there's other things that I needed to worry about, like, why did this break?